Brock Lesnar was reportedly injured at WWE SummerSlam last weekend. Fox is currently losing money on WWE SmackDown, according to a media analyst. Plus, plans for the Elite at AEW All In may have been revealed. Stay tuned for all the deets. So, kicking things straight off with the news that Brock Lesnar has reportedly been injured. So, this one coming from Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. He says that Lesnar suffered an injury early on in the SummerSlam match against Cody Rhodes. Apparently, Brock was going to be used later in the year, but the plan has now changed. And as of right now, he put Rhodes over clean, shook his hand, turned himself back babyface in doing so, and the plan is for him to return on the television building up to the Royal Rumble, and from there go into WrestleMania.
But we might see him if he is well enough.
Yeah.
And he seems well enough. He was on stage singing and dancing with some country singer very, very recently. We might see him at the Saudi Arabia show in November. So you wouldn't have been able to tell, would you? I had no idea. He's a beast, isn't he?
He is a beast.
Hence the name.
An injury for him maybe just feels like nothing.
Yeah, for sure. So we don't know exactly what it is.
Given the fact that he was out in public and on stage, maybe that suggests it might be less severe than something that's going to keep him out for a very long time. So hopefully it's a speedy recovery for Brock.
Yeah, there were reports circulating that he might have been coming back as soon as Payback as well. But don't expect to see him at Payback. Essentially, we send Brock our very, very best.
Yeah,
he'll
be back in no time. Get him into the Rumble. Get him throwing everybody around.
I love him so much. I loved that match. I thought it was great fun. Ring steps aside, obviously. But no, I thought it was an excellent match. And hearing that he's hurt, you had no idea.
No,
not a clue. Because he's a different animal.
Well, keeping it with SummerSlam and unfortunately keeping it with injuries, we've got an update on Roman Reigns' SummerSlam injury. Again from Dave Meltzer, saying that he seems to have pinpointed the fact that Roman got injured at SummerSlam, either a hip or a back injury from the top rope from Jey Uso, about 5 minutes into the main event match.
Yeah, from the tope.
Yeah, he says you could see the way he moved and walked that he was in pain, but to his credit, unless you were looking for it, you probably didn't see it.
Is this just Meltzer showing off? This is just go, well, I noticed it. You probably
I
wouldn't.
can see the injuries. You normies, you haven't got a clue.
I didn't spot it either. He just cracked on.
I think, a Roman injury is much more scary for WWE potentially in terms of their title picture right now. They've invested a lot of time into Roman and the bloodline, and you've got to.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? There are so many supporting characters in this whole storyline that you can actually get away with a minor injury. If he has to be away for a few months, no sweat really, because you've got enough people that can carry that story until Roman is good to go again. If it was a serious injury, they've invested so much, as you say.
Yeah.
Imagine if, God forbid, something awful happened.
You can't just have them coming out and just doing promos for 6 months.
Well, they've tried. I mean, you can, if it's nothing too serious, you can just properly protect him, have him team with Solo. Solo does all the heavy lifting. Roman does a few bits if he's up to it. Hopefully he's all right. We'll let you know when we get any more specifics on that injury, but hip or back injury, hopefully it's not
fingers
nothing
crossed,
too bad.
it's nothing too serious. But in terms of SmackDown, Brandon Ross of Lightshed Partners, who monitors WWE very closely, believed that NBCU is close to finalizing its deal for Raw, but was skeptical of Fox keeping SmackDown. He felt Fox is spending more and prioritizing NFL and college football, which obviously two of the biggest sports in America. They're going to want to try and prioritize that much bigger audiences.
The weird thing about this is the numbers, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my head around this. WWE is seeking $308 million per year for SmackDown on its new deal. However, Fox is losing money on the current deal where they're paying $205 million a year, even though SmackDown now wins them the most Friday nights and is one of the network's highest rated shows. I guess it's about getting people watching their channel and taking a lot. Is it a loss leader?
And the thing is, SmackDown was a very exciting product. It still is, but it felt like there was a lot of buzz initially around the Fox deal, and it doesn't really feel that kind of way anymore.
Do you not think? I think the Bloodline story is drawing record numbers.
I feel in terms
metrics.
of just all of the kind of cross promotion we'd see like the backstage on FS1, we'd see like all that other stuff.
That's true,
and it feels like maybe I don't know.
You think that it feels like they're maybe winding down because of the...
just a little bit. It's not like they've given up on it. It's just that they're kind of scaling back a little. It feels
maybe
on that promotion of the product.
If they don't think they're going to renew it, I guess you would limit that stuff.
At the same time, I remember a figure from, it was a long time ago now, but it was, I don't know where it was from, but it was essentially that, it's $1 million an episode to produce WWE TV. So that figure's clearly gone through the roof, given that they want $308 million a year for SmackDown alone.
It's just crazy money, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's they're big earner now as the TV. Right? The industry's changed so much.
Massively.
In that, people talk about, this person's selling the most merch and all that. It's a drop in the ocean at this point, isn't it? It's all about these huge international events, and even more so about the massive TV deals. The $308 million a year, which is what they're seeking, and they'll probably get it from somewhere as well. They're so hot right
that's
now.
the thing is, I think that if Fox aren't willing to re-sign WWE for SmackDown, I'm fairly sure that another network will snap it up in a heartbeat. Yeah. So I don't think they've really got anything to worry about in regards there. But moving over to AEW and All In here, just to close things out. The Observer reporting that the Kenny Omega versus Konosuke Takeshita match may end up at All Out in Chicago, which is a week after All In. And a rumored match at All In was Omega, Adam Page, and Kota Ibushi versus Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Takeshita. So it's not surprising. It does sort of, you want that big, massive match for Kenny Omega in London. I don't know if a 6-man is really what I was hoping for. I was hoping for maybe a more direct one-on-one, but at the same time...
I feel for the London fans here, the people travelling over for it and everything. Kenny Omega versus Takeshita is the one that I think people want to see more than a 6-man tag.
Where you're going to see limited action from everybody. So I'm a bit kind of...
Well, this is the problem. They've got back-to-back pay-per-views, haven't they? This is like a week after All In. It's so weird. The fact that they're doing their biggest show ever... and then straight away, the next week, you've got another
in a smaller venue with what's likely going to be a much better card.
Maybe. We'll go through the card as it stands right now. The 0-hour kickoff. Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles are on the line, of course. MJF and Adam Cole taking on Aussie Open. You've got the World Tag Team Championships on the line. FTR versus the Young Bucks. You've got the Women's World Championship. Hikaru Shida versus Toni Storm versus either Saraya or Sky Blue versus Britt Baker or the Bunny. So 4-way there. Darby Allin and Sting versus Swerve and AR Fox in a tag team coffin match. And you got the AEW World title on the line. MJF and Adam Cole both doing double duty. They are also in the main event for the world title. So I think the card's shaping up really, really nicely. I find it really bizarre, and we talked about this yesterday, but I find it really bizarre that with so many wrestlers surely wanting to be on this historic, massive card, that they've got people pulling double duty. It works for the storyline. I get it. I really do. I just feel for the people who are going to be left off the card.
That's it, and it does just to go back to the fact we got 2 pay-per-views in 1 week. It just feels odd, especially with one of them being such a massive scale show. I mean, this is by no means like a house show card at all. Like, it's got a lot of big names on it, and it's going to fill out further. But I don't know. It just feels like there's just a lot going on, and it's going to be like cramming all of that into 1 week is like it's a hell of a lot. It's a big ask.
It would be. I mean, in a way, it might be a bit of a shame that the biggest show ever in the UK ends up being a go home for the Chicago show in some way. I'm sure it won't play out like that.
But that's I just figured the second it was like we're gonna have All Out, so is it gonna be like a double header? Is it gonna be like a 2-part pay-per-view, All In, All Out? Like, we're gonna maybe get half
on the same
weekend. But no, it's just sort of it's all a bit up in the air. But as the card fleshes out, I'm sure that it's all gonna kind of come a bit more clear.
At least we got some matches now, eh?
Yeah.
We got some matches on paper. We know they're happening. And Grado versus Jeff Jarrett. Tom's chat with Jeff Jarrett is on the channel now. There's loads and loads of good stuff that we've had going up this week. We talked about Roman Reigns earlier. Ross has taken a go at naming all of the WWE stars who will capture, dethrone champions. And also, we talked about some of the great matches coming up at All In. Jack has got his Matches of the Month podcast coming out this Sunday. 2 incredible FTR matches in there. They're obviously on the All In card, so there's all that good stuff coming and loads of lovely things over the weekend. That's it for us today. Stay tuned for the podcast tonight. Pluggity plug. Buy the merch, cultaholicshop.com. Take care of yourselves. All the best.